Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Spice. My name is Blake.
And my name is Angel. And if this is your first time listening, we are a sex and relationship podcast where we talk about everything sex and relationships.
So if you got any questions or maybe you want some advice, you can email them to thespicepodcastofficial@gmail.com. What have we got today?
Today's episode is titled, We Always Do the Same Things in the Bedroom. But before we get into that, I literally just had the idea as you were setting up the light and the cameras and stuff. I just had the idea to open the podcast by asking you a question. I have a list of about 15 questions here, and you can just pick a number between 1 and 15.
Cool.
And I just pulled them off of Google. It's not like I was, brainstorming or anything, but
Yeah, okay.
yeah. So if you're okay with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So pick a number between 1 and 15.
7.
Number 7. Should couples have access to each other's phones and or social media accounts?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, if anyone were to say no to that, I would wonder why they're saying no.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be allowed to just make changes, post things, like stuff, right, like that.
Mm-hmm.
But to see what I see on social media is literally not even a big deal.
Yeah.
And you could already see like who people follow, so you can see who your partner follows, but that's only half the story.
Yeah.
I think it's not a bad thing. I mean, you get to know your partner. I feel like you might learn something about them.
I have a follow-up question that I just thought of.
Okay.
What would you say to someone who said, yeah, but if you want access to my stuff, that means that you don't trust me and our relationship is about trust? And that's their argument for not wanting to share their phone or social media. Because the question said access to each other's phones and or social media accounts.
If a partner says like, give me your phone, I need to see it, and demands it, I can understand how that would create tension, and then the other partner might feel like they don't trust them.
Yeah.
But if your partner asks you permission, I don't really see a reason why the answer should be no.
Yeah.
To a partner who would say that trust is a reason why you shouldn't look at my phone. On the contrary, trust is a reason why they should be allowed to look at your phone.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything because the question was not geared toward me. And
Cool.
we wanted to hear Blake's hot take.
Moving on.
All right. Would you like to hear our submission for today?
Yep.
Okay. I have a partner that is not forthcoming with any tips or tricks on how to spice up our bedroom time. He says that he likes something different, but we always wind up doing the same thing, which I'm totally fine with, but I don't want him to get bored. He won't tell me what he likes because I like everything we do. And if I know you're only doing it because I like it, then it won't turn me on. My question is, what can I do in the bedroom that's not too out there that he'll find hot and surprise him? He says that he'll try anything once, but I'm more reserved. I don't know what he has tried, but my experience is lacking a little bit. Thank you for any advice if you even see this. Anonymous.
Interesting. Yeah. I was just going to make a little suggestion.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
Literally don't even, this is just like.
Just blurt it out. It's fine.
Yep, there we go. You could just make a list of things and just start spitballing, just doing it, right?
Spitballing.
Literally.
Literally. Spitballing, literally.
Is that for the UK fans? How was that one? I don't, you know what I mean? Just like start trying a bunch of stuff. The problem with that is it's hard to feel confident if you're not sure that someone's going to like it, right? Mm-hmm. But at the very beginning, like the very first sentence, what was it? It was something like...
He says he likes something different, but we always wind up doing the same.
So he told her that he does like something different, but won't tell you what.
Yeah, and then he claims that he likes everything that they do, but that if he knows that the submitter is only doing it because he likes it, that it won't turn him on.
Right.
Which is fair. You shouldn't want someone to do something that they don't want to be doing. But it puts the submitter in a hard place because the submitter wants to try to do something for their partner.
Yeah.
But their partner's not really giving them any kind of like feedback that's helpful.
I mean, but what if what he suggests sounds exciting to her and she wants to do it? He's going to say no because...
Well, he won't suggest anything, it sounds like.
Right. You would never know unless you talk. You guys just got to talk about it.
Yeah, well, obviously the person who submitted this is writing in because they feel like they're out of options. They're like, I want to try something new. What are some things that I can try?
Yeah.
Because my partner won't tell me, even though I've asked for it. Hopefully this person can get their partner to listen to this and we can grab the the man by the shoulders and be like, tell your partner what you want from them, you know?
Yeah.
Not even just what you want from them, but about things that you're interested in, things that you like, things that you've maybe wanted to try for a long time and you've been too scared to tell anyone, you know? Like, I don't know how long they've been in a relationship for, but relationships you should be able to be vulnerable with your partner.
Yeah.
And while you might have sex with your partner, you're not going to have true intimacy with someone unless you can be vulnerable. Those things go hand in hand, and you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
You know, obviously in an ideal world, the guy would be able to be like vulnerable and tell the submitter what he wants. But let's say that that's not going to happen, which is why the submitter wrote in.
What's your thoughts?
Well, first, I feel like the person who wrote in is asking for specific things that they can do in the bedroom that's not too out there, that their partner will find hot and surprise them. First and foremost, I can't give that. We can't give that because we don't know what your partner likes. And it sounds like you don't even know what your partner likes because he won't express it to you.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to give specific tips and tricks. What I would rather like to give is some advice for working through this kind of situation with a partner, which I assume you want them to be a long-term partner. Otherwise, you wouldn't be writing this.
Yeah.
There's two things that I'm kind of thinking of right now. First, making a list, like sitting down and writing a list of things that you could possibly want to try or could possibly see yourself trying, and read through them with your partner in person one by one, and then discuss each item. And you guys will be able to feel the energy. You'll be able to feel the energy between each other. You'll be able to kind of see like what gets you guys excited, what doesn't so much. Like you'll be able to kind of feel that in a palpable way between both of you, and then kind of determine which ones to take action on. Both partners should be equally trying to keep the spark alive, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally.
And unfortunately, if the submitter's partner is not going to be providing any insight into what they like or what they desire, there aren't really any other options aside from leaving the relationship. There's not really any other options. Like you're going to have to put in extra work to make up for the fact that your partner is not.
Yeah.
The second thing that I would recommend is something that we talked about on a previous podcast episode, which is where both partners sit down together at the same time and they each take 5 pieces of scrap paper. You both write down 5 things that you want to try. And then you mix up everything all together and you put it in a bowl. And before you pull one out of the container that they're in, you both promise that whatever comes out of that hat or that bowl, you're going to make a good faith effort to make it happen.
Yeah.
It's a great way to kind of dissolve some of the expectations or the nervousness of being put on the spot, right? So for the partner, the guy who's not wanting to tell his partner what he likes, he probably feels maybe put on the spot. Like he has to specifically say what they're going to do. And obviously he doesn't feel comfortable with that. So it could be a way for the person who submitted this to say, look, we both are going to write things down and we're both going to take part in this and we're both going to try to help each other experience the things that they want to experience.
Yeah. It levels the playing field.
Yeah, so I think that would be a better option as long as you can each think of 5 things.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could do less, you could do 3 or whatever, but most of it just has to do with putting the ideas down on paper and then expressing that to each other. You can look for all sorts of different tips and things online, but the truth is, you probably don't want to just try something that you're scared your partner isn't going to like, and you're not going to feel confident in doing it if you don't know that you don't know if they're interested in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it boils down to communication, honestly. He says that he'll try anything once. The submitter also said, I don't know what he has tried, but my experience is lacking. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like they probably just don't really communicate about their sexual experiences much at all.
Right, yeah.
I know that sex is a difficult conversation to talk about. And it almost seems like it gets more difficult to talk about the longer that you're with someone, in a way.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's almost like when you first meet someone or you're talking to someone new, the conversations come a little bit more easily because that person doesn't have any expectations for who you are.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels a little bit easier.
Just be honest. You don't have to worry about them leaving because you haven't spent any time with them anyway.
Yeah.
Like if you scare them off, like who cares?
Or even just, you don't have to worry about them looking at you differently because they don't look at you in a particular way anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like once you've been with someone, especially for a while, it can become more difficult to have conversations like this.
Yeah.
Because the stakes are higher in your brain. Right? Like you could be scared to share something for fear that the person's going to see you differently or judge you or be scared of you or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Be disappointed or disgusted or
right.
whatever. So I understand why. But when you're in a relationship with someone, you have to make a consistent effort to be having those conversations anyway, even though it's difficult, even though it's scary.
Yeah.
Personally, if it were me, I would probably make a list and I'd be like, here's all the things that I'm interested in trying. Do any of them look interesting to you? All right, that one, cool. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it doesn't really resolve the issue of the partner not wanting to express themselves. So talk to a therapist. I don't know.
I think
how do you fix that?
I think you had good suggestions. Now just implement it.
I also think something that's really important is telling your partner that you want to give them a safe space to express themselves.
Yeah.
And verbally and emotionally and energetically giving that safety to them and reminding them that you're not going to go anywhere. You want to try new things with them, and you want them to be honest with you. You want to know who they are and what kind of things they like. Like, it's easy for someone to be like, I'll try anything once, whatever. It's also another thing to be like, this is something that I want to try. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
He's like punting the ball into their court, into the submitter's court.
Yeah.
He's like, here, take this ball, and you figure out what to do with it because I'm too nervous or I'm too scared. So
do it back. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't necessarily mean that, but like sitting down and saying, listen, whatever you have to say and whatever you feel, I'm going to be right here. And I wouldn't be asking you these questions if I didn't want to know the answers.
Yeah.
That's part of being in a true partnership with someone, and being in a relationship with someone is deciding that you're going to accept them for who they are. And if that means that it includes some interesting sexual things, then you have to determine for yourself if you're willing to try and accept those things and give it your best shot.
Yep.
So if you feel like you can do that, then sit down with your partner and let them know, and open up the floor with a full open heart, and really and really put yourself out there too, to listen and validate. Yeah.
Beautifully said.
I don't know. I feel like I'm just blabbing, but
this is useful information. Useful for somebody.
Yeah. Hopefully. I'm not going to give any specific tips. I do have tips and tricks and positions and guides on how to dirty talk and sext. I have all those kinds of things on my TikTok, on my Instagram. You can go check them out, but ultimately those things are not going to fix the communication issues here. So do something to address the fact that your partner doesn't feel safe enough to tell you these things.
Yeah.
That's hard to hear.
Yeah.
I would have a hard time hearing that. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I feel like I'm getting into this point where I'm just going to keep repeating myself.
Totally, yeah.
So, I feel like that's pretty much it. Submitter, if you have any other specific questions or you want us to address anything else, we're going to email you. Once this episode goes live, you are always welcome to respond to that email to let us know if there's anything that we didn't cover that you were hoping to hear about. And we can always, cover it in another episode.
Yeah. Thanks for your courage.
Yeah.
And your submission.
Yeah, it does take courage. It is scary, especially things regarding sex and relationships. It can be really scary to send that off to someone else. So we appreciate you trusting us with that.
I'm ready for the next one.
Okay. This Reddit thread is the, am I overreacting on Reddit?
Cool.
r/am I overreacting?
Also our favorite.
And I do want to hear your what you think about this, because it's a man that was writing this about his wife.
Cool.
And I just want to see what you have to say about it. Just put yourself in his shoes.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right.
It says, am I overreacting to my wife cleaning up downstairs?
Okay.
My wife goes to multiple week-long out-of-town conferences every year. My wife will do some very thorough grooming prior to these conferences. It's pretty much the only time she'll bother completely shaving. I know that at these conferences, she generally meets up and goes to parties with friends and colleagues from current and past jobs. I'm not usually jealous, but I'm struggling to come up with an innocent explanation for this. One of her conferences this year is in Vegas. I'm tagging along along for the first few days, then heading back home before her. I left her in the hotel room and went down to get food, and she took a bath. I came back up to the room, and sure enough, she's completely shaved and completely bald down there. I mentioned it, and she said she needed to clean up in case they go swimming. She then kind of went into cuddle mode, which she usually does to assure herself that we're okay. I'm now thinking back to all the other conferences. Most of them don't have pools or swimming. Am I overreacting?
No.
Just put yourself in his shoes for a second.
Yeah.
And like imagine.
Like my wife doesn't shave at all ever unless she's going on a conference?
Yeah, he says it's pretty much the only time she'll bother completely shaving. Like,
what does that even mean, completely shaving?
Like, like she probably trims or shaves every once in a while, but then doesn't usually, like, she's probably not consistent with it.
Okay.
But then every time she goes to a conference, she like shaves everything.
Yeah.
It's like, think about an everything shower.
Right.
You know?
Why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
well, why is that the only time you're doing it?
Yeah. No, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, comparing to myself, like I usually let my scruff and like my neck beard kind of grow throughout the week. But if there's like an event or I'm going to be traveling, I will always shave as close to that point just so it lasts as long as possible.
Yeah.
This is more of a presentable hairstyle.
That's what I was gonna say.
My
people see it.
Yeah, exactly. So
but you're not like, oh my god, I have a work trip, I'm gonna shave my nutsack.
Yeah.
Like
what?
No one's gonna see it.
Yeah, totally.
No one should. Right,
unless it's a Speedo convention.
Yeah.
and I'm modeling some Speedo.
Yeah.
There's no reason. It's super weird. I wonder if there's other weird patterns that he's noticed as well, or if this is the first one.
Yeah.
Also it's interesting that he tuned into that like cuddle mode thing that she does, right? Like if she feels insecure in the relationship and she tries to get it through that, I feel like that's also odd.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's more patterns that he's noticed, but this is kind of like the biggest one.
Yeah.
But what do you do about that?
I know.
What would I do about that?
What would you do?
I wouldn't leave Vegas, and I would follow her around everywhere she went.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. No, let's not do that. I'd be so friggin' nervous.
Worried,
you know what I'd say? I'd be like, hey babe, can I see your phone?
Yeah. After we asked that question in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Can I see your social media? Can I see your phone?
Yeah, I do wonder like if they have access to that. As a woman who does shave, when I go out on my work trips, because I go on work trips for like a week at a time.
Yeah.
When I go on my work trips, I don't even bring my razor. Well, okay, that's not true. I do bring my razor because sometimes I like to shave like right before I come home so that when I come home to you, I have like smooth legs and everything. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the fact that I'm not going to be shaving for a week. Like,
yeah,
I'm so excited. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about anyone who's going to be there. None of them matter. Like, I'm letting it go.
Totally.
You know? And so the fact that she's making a very particular effort to completely shave before and at the conventions, but then not at other times.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't speak for all women, but for me, like, okay, this is probably going to get me canceled, honestly.
Oh boy.
I really don't think that women shave for themselves. I really don't. I don't think that women who shave or remove their hair are doing it for themselves. And that's just me because of my own personal experience. I have a hard time believing that if all heterosexual men were removed from the face of the earth and heterosexual women were just like alone, that we would be still like shaving our legs and shit. I have a hard time believing that. When I know that I'm going to be alone for a week or whatever, I'm not fucking shaving. When I shave, it's for you, not because you tell me that I have to, but because I like having smooth skin for you. You know, when you touch my legs, you're like, oh, it feels so good. You never expect that from me, and you don't like, you've never really cared if my hair grows out. Like, you're not like, ew, that's disgusting, shave your legs. Like, but I still like to think of your experience of being with me. and do that for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Personally, I just have a hard time believing that women are just out here shaving their legs for themselves. And so when I hear something like this, or shaving anything for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I hear something like this, that my wife only shaves completely bald when she's going on work conventions, that's concerning to me. Work conventions are my favorite time to not shave.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a big red flag. It's a big red flag.
Yeah.
You gotta be not overreacting, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But like, what, if your partner asked for your phone, so we're going full circle.
Okay. Yeah.
If your partner asked for your phone in a situation like this, why are they asking for your phone? Is it because they don't trust you? But then it's like, if you trust your partner, you should let them see your phone. Yeah. But they don't trust you. So if they don't trust you, then should you not?
So if this was me, and let's say that I was shaving completely bald downstairs only when I go to these work conferences, and maybe it's for a completely innocent reason, but you're feeling scared because of that, and you're noticing a pattern and it's worrying you. Yeah. If you brought that up to me and I said, oh no, it's just because I'm going to go swimming later, and then you were thinking about it and you got even more in your head because you're like, none of the other places you've been to had pools, but you always do it, and you came up to me and you said, I want to see your phone, I'm feeling really nervous, here's why, this is what I'm feeling, I would give you my phone 100%. Yeah. There is no world in which I wouldn't hand over my phone and be like, I am sorry that you feel that way, and I understand why, because if it was reversed, I would feel the same way. Yeah. Take my phone, and you can look at whatever you want, because I assure you there's nothing that I'm hiding. Right. But if I was hiding something, at that point, I would be using that trust argument. What, you don't trust me? Right. Yeah. And I feel like that is a defense mechanism that people use. What, you don't trust me? Right. Instead of understanding that trust is not just an assumed thing. It's something that has actually worked for it. Like, now I want to get into a completely different topic, but I feel like people don't recognize that you shouldn't just get trust in any situation just because. Yeah. I feel like when people get really frustrated because you asked to see their phone, a lot of times it's because they are hiding something. Yeah. Not always. I feel like if you're not hiding anything, you're more likely to say, yeah, you can look at my phone, and then just be honest and be like, I'm a little worried on why you want to look through my phone, but have at it, you know? Yeah.
Well, and as a loving partner who wants to make your partner feel safe and secure in the relationship, why would you not? Yeah. So I know. If you want what's best for your relationship. I kind of want to mention something here too that is now getting into this third topic off of the am I overreacting post. Cool. All right, so we're doing like this even deeper. Super meta right now. What we're talking about kind of reminds me of a conversation that I was having with a friend the other day. And they were talking to me about their ex-boyfriend and some of the issues of trust that they had in the beginning of the relationship. Yeah. Where he kind of broke her trust in a way. And she said that the relationship was never the same after that. And I think that it's kind of interesting. I feel like people view trust as something that you should just have once you're in a relationship with someone. Like from the beginning. Yeah. Right. And it kind of is true in a way. What you have when you enter into a relationship with someone, and when you enter into a new relationship with someone, you have what I would call assumed trust, which is the assumption that you trust the person based on the fact that you have no prior experience of them breaking your trust to go off of. Yeah. So you're just assuming that you can trust the person. And there's a difference between assumed trust and earned trust. And the way that you get to earned trust is by having your assumed trust broken and having to work back and having to put work into building trust again. Yeah. I feel like if you're in a relationship with someone and you've never had any kind of trust broken before and you're still operating under assumed trust, that it's fair that you don't actually fully 100% have trust in the person. Right. Because it's just an assumption. Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of just an interesting topic. I think that if I had assumed trust with you, or you had assumed trust in me, and then you saw things that were sketchy, like
this person is seeing, it makes sense that you would be like, what's going on? Let me see your phone. I don't fully trust you, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then in working through it, we can work to like build more of a foundation of
earned trust.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is there a way to obtain earned trust without breaking the assumed trust?
The way that you get to earned trust is the same either way, whether you break trust or not. And there's a lot of different tactics to it, but the most important step to building earned trust is to be open and honest in when you have any opportunity to be open and honest.
Yeah.
Being forthcoming about information without having to be asked for that information.
Yeah.
So think about it like when I get messages from guys that maybe I work with or I go to school with, or
you get messages from guys that you work with and go to school with?
You know what I mean? Like when I get messages from people that I went to high school with, or sometimes it happens, and I always come to you and I say, hey, so-and-so messaged me, and I kind of show it to you, and I just try to keep you informed.
Yeah.
Because I want to build that earned trust. I don't want you to just assume that you can trust me just because you've never found out that I've broken your trust.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I'm giving you all the information that is pertinent to our relationship and anything that could potentially harm the relationship.
Yeah.
And also following through with promises and your word. If you say you're going to do something, you do it every single time, no matter what it is. And if you can't meet that promise that you made, you make the other person aware ahead of time. So those are some things, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Being transparent, bringing information to the table before being asked for it,
right.
And then following through with your word. And that's how you build earned trust. But most people don't really know that.
Yeah.
And so you just operate under this mode that you've always operated under of, well, I don't have to show them everything, or I don't have to talk about this because they didn't ask,
right.
or whatever, it's normal for people to operate that way.
It's hard as time goes on.
Yeah. I wanted to mention the assumed and earned trust because I think it's a really interesting concept that not many people are aware of. I would assume that this couple has assumed trust, and he is writing to the Am I Overreacting Reddit thread because he is scared to bring it up to his wife because he's worried that assumed trust will be shattered. Yeah. And I say shatter it because what is happening to me would be concerning.
Totally. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Nice.
All right, so I think that's it for submissions. Would you like to pull a card?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Card time.
I will pull a card first and you can answer since I just blabbed on again for 18 pages.
Excellent.
Describe what you fear the most about your relationship.
What do I fear the most?
Yeah.
You dying, obviously. You getting in some kind of horrific car accident.
I think that's pretty normal. I feel like most people are terrified of that. Or
home invasion.
Home invasion.
This is not even with our relationship. This is just.
What do you fear most about your relationship? Home invasion.
Burglary. Serial killer encounter. Yeah, I mean, your death.
Losing me.
Losing you.
It's gonna happen one day. I mean, either you're gonna lose me or I'm gonna lose you.
Losing you so abruptly, though. It's not like when you get older or if somebody gets sick and they start to die. I feel like when it's an abrupt death, I mean, Jesus, you could have just made plans to do something next week. Yeah. And all of a sudden that's impossible. Yeah. And you didn't get to like hug them tighter, and you didn't get to, just go on one more walk in the neighborhood. Like it just was gone. Couldn't plan for it. Couldn't do anything about it. Never had that before. Couldn't imagine. Oh. But it would put me down deep in a dark place for a long time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're killing me.
I can tell. I'm killing myself.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is sad. Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, I'll draw a card.
Because I don't want to cry anymore.
Make the sound of my personality.
No,
Please.
Make the sound of your personality.
I accept that sound. It's a very nice sound.
I don't know. That's all I've got. I can explain it. Yeah. I can explain why. I feel like that was honestly just what naturally kind of came to mind. You're like very calming and stable, and you have like this deep I don't even feel like I could make my voice go low enough to be the way you almost, it makes me think of like a deep hum. Just like you could hum me to sleep. I don't know. I just, I'm having a hard time even putting words to it after I just said I could explain it. Being around you is kind of like calming, meditative experience in a way. I feel like you regulate me in a lot of ways. Not that it's your responsibility. I feel like just being in your orbit helps to regulate me.
I love it. I am proud to be that person.
It's really special. I don't feel like there's anyone else in my life that feels like that.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
Shall we wrap?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all we got.
We're dwindling here.
That's all we got for this week's episode of The Spice.
If you have any questions at all that you would like us to answer, if you have any advice for us, if you just want to talk to us, you can email us at thespicepodcastofficial@gmail.com.
Until next time.
And until next time, you guys.
Stay spicy.
Stay spicy.